Bitcoin ETFs, possible nod of approval in August 2018, which could prove to be a historical time for Bitcoin, a time when these prices may never be seen again. And so it is that it seems much of the market could possibly be reacting to that possible news, accumulating more Bitcoin, buying more Bitcoin, scrambling to get into the market before it explodes, before Bitcoin takes off like a rocket ship. I mean, possibly the truest definition of FOMO, but what if August comes, Bitcoin ETFs do not get the nod of approval? What happens then? Will many people be losing their hats with a possible big downturn to create new lows? That's the question. That's something I want to talk about in this video. Man, talk about dramatic. You would think that version of myself is shorting Bitcoin right now. I can assure you I'm not shorting Bitcoin right now. For some context though, there is a reason why that version of myself exists. That part of my mind exists looking for the downside, looking at the possible downside. 2008 real estate market, I got wrecked, as did many, many people. I was way too bullish. I FOMO'd into real estate and I didn't have that risk analysis. I didn't look on the downside. I didn't prep. I didn't anticipate. So that's why I do what I do today. I am bullish on Bitcoin, by the way, but always good to look at the downside. So in this video, we're going to look at possible downside, but we're also going to touch on the upside as well right now. So let's look at some key areas of resistance and possible support for Bitcoin as we move ahead in this day, July 24th, 2018. Right now, Bitcoin trading at around $8,100. On the daily, I want to point something out. I want to take the Fibonacci retracement. We don't use it often. We use it zoomed out on the daily to anticipate areas of key resistance long term so we can possibly be prepared for a downside or a dip. So we're going to use the Fibonacci from that all-time high down to actually this first dip that we had, and then we had the pull back up right to the 618 on Fibonacci retracement. You can see it right there. 618. For all of you that do not know, if you're not too familiar with Fibonacci retracement, in the most general terms, put it simply, it's a tool that utilizes really the law of numbers and the law of resistance to find key areas of resistance, mainly that traders use in all markets, not just Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So right now, you can see that key area of the 618, which is a very popular area on the Fibonacci retracement, acting as traditional resistance does. So in more volatile markets, a good channel, in my opinion, is the 618 up to the 786. In more volatile markets, 786 proves to show itself often. So we can use that channel going forward in this video. So let's take the Fibonacci retracement again from the second high here, right down to that second bottom. And let's move it over to that top we had, right around $10,000 Bitcoin. And you can see 618, resistance right above the 618 on the Fibonacci. Let's get rid of that. And now let's take the Fibonacci lastly from this most previous high down to this most previous bottom. And let's see where we are. And you can see right now, Bitcoin wicked up exactly almost, touched the 618. Key area of resistance. At least right now it has proven to be some resistance. The question is, are we going to take a breather and break through that resistance? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So first up, we have this. This is the daily charts. And right here in this channel, what you see is the 618, right? This area of resistance that we just talked about, right down to the 200 EMA on the daily. So if we do see short-term resistance right now on the daily, and you can get a really good sense of this on the 4-hour, you're going to possibly see a new higher low being formed down here at the 200 EMA, right in that area on Bitcoin. So in terms of what that looks like, if we did have a red day or so, from where we're trading right now, that would be around a 4% red candle on the daily if that happened within a day. Obviously, nothing happens perfectly. So on the downside, first thing you want to look at is support at that 200 EMA on the daily, and there it is, right around 70. It's probably around $7,800 to $7,900. So next up on the daily, we have another channel I want to look at, which is the 618 that we talked about. So this key area that Bitcoin most recently saw on the Fibonacci 618 up to this, the 786, that other key area. Remember, we talked about that key channel to look for in Bitcoin right now. So the reason I'm painting this channel is because we may see resistance at the 786, but I want to talk about the upside for a second. If this rally continues over the course of the next week or so, or a few days, whatever it is, and you see Bitcoin actually break through even the 786, that's going to be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. And we can really start thinking about breaking these previous lower highs, right, that we had back in May. So that's something to look out for. So we have the support right here. Actually, no, I'm on the wrong chart. We have the support back here at around $7,800, $7,900. And then for an area to break through resistance, we have up to that 786 at around $9,000 in this continued bull trend. So on the 4 hour, really, here's the whole of everything we just talked about. And we have the 9,000, 786. We have the 200 EMA on the daily right down there. So key area of resistance would be up here, 786, right around here, the 618, and right down here as support for Bitcoin right now at around $7,800, $7,900. So on the 4 hour, you can really see and get a good sense of if we did have a little bit of a pullback, we might see a higher low, which is bullish for Bitcoin, and then continue up and hopefully break those recent areas of resistance. So all that being said, we have technical analysis we just talked about, right? We have our areas to look for in terms of where Bitcoin could be headed and where it could see some support and resistance. But the one thing we don't know is what's going to happen in August. We also don't know how much sentiment is playing into this run that Bitcoin has right now. This isn't really, similar to this run from a sentiment standpoint, because right now, many people are anticipating and are maybe very optimistic on these Bitcoin ETFs in August, which if they happen, will be awesome. And I think Bitcoin is going to break previous lower highs and, hopefully we'll be out of that short-term bear market correction. But the one thing I do want to just end this video with is posing the question to you, what if Bitcoin ETFs do not get the nod of approval? And what if, especially then, this channel that we have on the screen sees extreme resistance and we bounce in a bearish sentiment down and we break these previous lows and we head down to, dare I say 5,000 and down in this channel down here. So if that happens, what would you do? And are you prepared for something like that to happen? That's the only question I have, is to be prepared. Is it something for you to accumulate less than maybe you planned? Is it something where you would set stop losses so that if this did happen, you'd exit at a certain amount because you think it'll go beyond that point? Those are the questions I want to throw out there to you. I think it will serve you extremely well to just anticipate and be ready. We may never see these areas again. I want to point that out. And this video I'm doing isn't because I think this is going to happen and we come back down. But one thing I've learned is being conservative in your approach and even in the way you accumulate. Accumulation is always risky, but yes, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a good idea in the cryptocurrency markets, especially if you're long. However, in the shorter term, especially and when I say shorter term, I'm even talking 6 months or so. If we do see lower lows in this market, you want to be set up mentally as well to handle the markets as that happens. So that's why I talk about the downside. But I definitely sprinkled in some upside as well. I mean, breaking the 786 on the daily right around 9,000 could be really fun, could be really cool to see. And Bitcoin ETFs not of approval could play into that actually happening and breaking these previous highs. So really, I wanted to dive into Bitcoin right now and just talk about everything going on in terms of technical analysis, possible Bitcoin ETFs. I know a lot of people are talking about it. There's a ton of eyes on Bitcoin right now, as well as other cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin up right now. We shall see what happens next. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you coming by today, July 24th. I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next video, and God bless.